Chicago, often celebrated for its breathtaking skyline and culinary delights, harbors a starkly contrasting reality beneath its polished surface. While tourists flock to its famous deep dish pizzas and historic architecture, a different Chicago remains largely unseen. This is a city marked by invisible borders, where fear, survival, and a legacy of violence have etched themselves into the very fabric of many neighborhoods. Within this hidden realm lie communities that bear the weight of historical injustices and societal neglect. The shadows cast by violent crime and gang activity often eclipse the stories of resilience and humanity, thriving amidst adversity. These neighborhoods are not mere statistics. They are living histories, representing tales of families grappling with the consequences of economic decline and systemic abandonment. As industrial jobs vanished throughout the 20th century, a sense of desolation crept into once vibrant working-class areas. The shuttered factories and neglected schools became symbols of lost opportunities, leading to a stark division within the city. While affluent districts like the Loop buzz with corporate prosperity, mere miles away, forgotten blocks are riddled with vacant lots and weary faces. The economic impact of segregation only deepened this divide, pushing communities further into isolation and desperation. In these neglected corners, street gangs emerged not just as symbols of violence, but as unexpected lifelines. Offering a semblance of protection and identity, they filled the void left by lost jobs and broken dreams, becoming integral to the lives of many young people yearning for connection. Rivalries hardened as territorial battles unfolded, each neighborhood marred by a seemingly endless cycle of conflict that has now become ingrained in their identities. Yet, amid the struggle, a complex tapestry of life persists. Children play basketball in makeshift courts. Parents work tirelessly to provide better futures for their families, despite the looming specter of violence. Conversations often go beyond crime reports, delving into discussions of hope, aspirations, and the endless quest for solutions. What remains essential is recognizing that the story of Chicago is more than headlines and statistics. It's a testament to enduring spirit and the human condition amid overwhelming challenges. In neighborhoods where violence is a persistent reality, children learn survival instincts as a form of self-preservation. From a tender age, they navigate their streets with a vigilance that belies their youth, instinctively knowing which avenues to shun, which colors to avoid, and when the safety of home is paramount. The distant echo of gunshots becomes a haunting lullaby, and an acute sense of hyper-awareness infiltrates every aspect of their daily existence. In such environments, fear morphs into an unsettling routine. It shapes their childhood and molds their psyche, leaving scars that may never fully heal. This adaptation is not born from desire but out of necessity. Psychologically, humans are wired to adjust to their surroundings, even when those surroundings are fraught with danger. In the forgotten corners of Chicago, the insidious nature of long-term violence has bred a generation that's then further exacerbated by abandonment. Empty houses and closed shops stand as tragic monuments to lost hope. As infrastructure crumbles, a sense of disconnection surfaces, anchoring despair in the hearts of residents and festering across generations, creating a cycle of hopelessness that feels inescapable. In these bleak landscapes, the shadowy embrace of underground systems tightens its grip. Gangs, originally mere street groups, evolve into intricate networks, wielding control over drug distribution and local territories. These factions become synonymous with their neighborhoods, reinforcing invisible lines that can dictate life or death based on the flip of a coin. This reality isn't monolithic. It is deeply fractured, with certain neighborhoods accounting for spikes in violence, while others breathe freely in the prosperity that defines the city's thriving zones, churning an unsettling duality. One version of Chicago that thrives amidst tourism and nightlife, and another that languishes in fear and turmoil. Yet despite the overwhelming narrative of violence fed to the outside world, residents resent being simply characterized by their surroundings. Behind every statistic lies rich, multifaceted lives. Families striving for connection, schools igniting hope, friendships blossoming amidst adversity, and dreams that push against the weight of trauma. Still, the specter of violence looms large. Certain streets become infamous not merely due to the crimes, but for embodying systemic decay and generational pain. As dusk falls, neighborhoods shift. The streets grow somber and tense, the air thick with anxiety, as sirens slice through the night, echoing the deeply rooted emotional exhaustion. In such spaces, merely surviving becomes a poignant achievement, one that reflects both resilience and an urgent call for change. In the shadows of towering luxury skyscrapers and gleaming corporate headquarters, A stark reality unfolds in neighborhoods just minutes away from affluence. While gleaming restaurants cater to the elite, communities grapple with the weight of violence and instability, creating a social chasm that feels insurmountable. The physical distance may be negligible, but the psychological and economic divide is profound, ensnaring residents in a relentless cycle of despair and distrust. As the chaos of violence intensifies in these neighborhoods, an insidious undercurrent of distrust swells within. Distrust toward law enforcement, political systems, and institutional promises festers, deeply rooted and often passed down through generations. For residents feeling abandoned, the solution to the violence becomes obscured by skepticism. Mere enforcement actions fail to address layered complexities. Violence rarely sprouts from a single seed, but rather blooms from an intricate web of factors: economic instability, broken families, trauma, and a pervasive sense of isolation. In this landscape, gangs often metamorphose into something far more than mere criminal entities. They become social networks, support systems, and substitutes for familial structures, providing identity and a dangerous sense of belonging amid turmoil. Where traditional avenues of opportunity seem blocked, these groups offer a semblance of recognition, however perilous it may be. Social media amplifies this dynamic, morphing localized conflicts into global spectacles. Neighborhood rivalries, once hidden, transform into viral content, garnering fascination from outsiders while embedding fear into the lives of residents. The internet perpetuates a horrifying truth. Violence has become a performance consumed by many, but understood by few. Amidst this turmoil, heroes emerge from the very fabric of these neighborhoods. Community leaders, educators, parents, and local activists tirelessly combat the tide of violence. They dedicate themselves to forging pathways toward peace, mentorship, and trust in a landscape marred by years of trauma. Organizations work to instill hope, dismantling the barriers that perpetuate cycles of violence. These unsung champions strive daily to create a reality where the stories of their communities are not defined by despair, but celebrated for resilience and courage. Their efforts highlight the critical importance of investing in solutions that honor the humanity and potential of every individual, fostering a brighter future that transcends geographical and social divides.